Hello, does it work now?
Yep, yep,
Okay,
it is
cool.
being recorded.
Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. I see Maya wrote something on the agenda, but since it's early morning for her, I don't know if she will be able to join. Do you know?
No idea. But yeah, it is early for her. Probably too early.
Okay.
Yeah, it is 6 a.m. for her. So don't think she will join.
Okay. Should we start or should we wait a few minutes?
It is already 5 past 12. I think it is fine to start.
Okay. So maybe I can start with my topic. I so I implemented a few gadgets on external repositories, and I wanted to shortly present them and show some of the issues I faced when writing them. So things we could improve in Inspector Gadget, maybe, if it's possible.
Right. Yeah.
The first one is called FS Notify Enricher, and that's a tracer that can check see usage of iNotify, so the kernel API for iNotify or for Notify. So if you have an application that uses iNotify, then you can see the events and you can see which process is accessing the file. And similar thing with Notify. And since IgE use Notify itself, then you can use this gadget to debug IgE itself, because you can see that is tracing IgE is using Notify to check container adherency when it access the RunC binary and so on.
Uh, just one
Yes,
question. How it is called enricher?
I'm sorry.
Why it is called enricher?
Oh, because like especially with the iNotify API, the kernel doesn't give you the process that is accessing the file. It just gives you it just tell you which file is being accessed. But this gadget is enriching this event with process information that is accessing the file.
Okay. And it is able to enrich also the container information if it is inside a container.
Yes, but for that I had a question, because well, I don't show all the columns here, but there is both the information about the process that is watching. So in this context, a notify watch, or the process that is being watched, and it could potentially run in two different containers. Like in the example with here, we have IG that is the tracer, maybe it runs in a pod, and then RunC, it runs on the host. So I'm not sure whether to enrich the container information with the tracer or the tracee. What is more useful?
Yeah, I think, did you add the mount namespace ID in the event?
Yes, so I can show you this. So add both the tracer mount namespace ID and the tracee, and this one I didn't add a prefix. so that Inspektor Gadget would automatically use it to generate container information. But I was not sure whether it's best to do it on this or on this.
Good point. So in the definition of the struct in the BPF program, you didn't use the specific type.
Oh, I did.
The type.
You think it will enrich for both? So let me check. Here. It's just not displayed in here, just because I filter it out with this, because that was too cluttered. So,
Okay, but the container information is available.
I think only for the field that is named like this, MNTNS ID.
But if I'm not wrong, it will use the type, not the name, just the type. If gadget, mount namespace ID, the type.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is doing. I remember that there is a limitation that you can't, it will ignore the second or something like that. But the name doesn't impact on,
Okay.
as far as I remember.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought that it's because it put it in the name of the column, like container name, pod name, and so on, is fixed. It cannot do it both. So I thought it was doing it with the name, but okay. You say it's doing it on this because it's the first field of this type.
Yeah, I remember I saw that somewhere saying that a comment saying we just support one. I will look for it and share it. But I like the idea to the back who is monitoring file access with FI notify. It is good, a good implementation, a good use case. And is it possible? I mean, I'm taking the opportunity to make a lot of questions about this, but FS, I remember there is FS notify, that is the library that is in Go that is trying to hide I notify, FA notify, a lot of things. So you are using, how do you are doing that? Because, yeah, do you get my question? I mean, this, I'm not sure about the difference between FS notify is just a library in Go, right? FS.
Okay, I think the FS notify library in Go is using the iNotify kernel API. And in the kernel implementation, the name FS notify refers to the general notify infrastructure, and then there are subcategories. There is iNotify, dnotify, FA notify, and some other things with NFS. I don't know what it is. So I think the generic name is FS notify, and then there is two different API for notify and unnotify. And unnotify is a non-privileged. Any process, non-root process can use it. But for notify, you need to be root because it's more powerful. It allows you to block other process.
Okay. Makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. And then the other limitation is also I have some parameters. Yeah. So the user can say whether they only want to see if I notify or only a notify, or only want to trace a specific process ID, or only one tracer. But another thing which is useful is this. When you want to trace a tracer, but that tracer potentially use several iNotify, several FANotify file descriptors. And if you want to trace only one of them, then you can specify which one you want to trace here. an example is I think IG itself uses Fanotify, and if it is used within a bigger application that has several use of Fanotify, then you can specify which one to trace. But the way to pass this parameter is the kernel memory address of this structure, and it's not. I mean, from user space, you cannot know that unless you use this library. But so it's possible to do, but it's not doesn't look so great. I think that will be nicer for the user experience if the user could say trace this Fanotify file descriptor and you pass the integer, the file descriptor integer. But for now, that's the only way I could find how to do it. So that's another limitation, but that's not too bad.
But yeah, so how do you get that value? You execute another golan.
Yes, so that's another eBPF program that will inspect this, but this I don't know how to turn it into a gadget to offer a better API.
Okay, understand.
And the other limitation I had was with enums. Like for example here, I have a column and I use this enum. But sometimes I have another enum where I want to name the same name in both, for example, but I cannot do that because in C it will conflict. So I don't know. I think it would be nice to have a way to declare enums not in C directly, but in the metadata of the gadget. So if we could say in somewhere here, I don't know, that how to convert enum into a string. Either because sometimes the enum is declared by the kernel, but it's a very long name, like a BPF underscore program underscore typed underscore hash or something. And sometimes we want to show a short representation of that. Yeah, that was another things I would like to have.
Okay, let me see. Okay, I will check that because I don't remember how the enum. I remember it was doing it automatically, but to transfer the numbers to name, there is an operator, the formatter operator, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, it does that, but I just wonder if there is a way to change the naming. Like if the name comes from the kernel, then I want
Okay.
to show a short form of that.
So you want to specify a specific field to use enum, use this enum to transfer the numbers to string. You want to say that, something like that. A field inside the struct, inside the event struct, you want to say this field needs to be converted using this enum.
Maybe not using an enum in the first place, because for example, in the DNS gadget, I think we have the DNS request type, and some of the name contain characters like a star, and identifier in C cannot contain a star, so that limits what you can do.
So how do you want to define the mapping inside the metadata file, for instance?
Yes, like I don't know where it will be, but like I don't know. Like here, for example, if the integer contains 0, then I will say lowest. If it contains 1, I say default, and so on. So I have a map somewhere here. I don't know if it's at which level, if it is an attribute or something else, but something like that.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes sense. Because it is coming sometimes, for instance, when it is coming from the kernel, yeah, and you don't like the name or it is too long or you want to have a specific mapping. I
Yes.
think that's a great. Yeah. Did you added? You created an issue for this?
This one, no. Sorry.
Okay. No, no. Okay. These two also for the one for the trace to be sure which one will be used. I will look for this and add some comments if I found.
Yeah, for this one, I'm not sure on the issue, what we should say in the issue, but yeah.
I will check that. I can create that. I can create that one.
Okay. Yes, and then the other gadget, it's like the existing trace DNS gadget we have, but this one is using UPOB. So in a libc function that sent a DNS request, we had a UPOB on it. And it's using both UPOB and packet capture in the same gadget. So one issue I had is this kind of object is not printed at all, I think, for the JSON output. So I found an issue about that.
Yeah, I think we notice it also with the examples. Mauricio, the PR.
Yes.
Mauricio created
Cool.
for the examples.
And the other issue is mixing the socket enricher cannot be easily used for a gadget that mix tracing and networking eBPF programs.
Yeah, how
So,
did you solve that?
so yeah, so for now with
That's
the
what's
hack,
the question.
but so in this, yeah, so the idea is, I will take an example. I will show the DNS gadget. Where's DNS? So in network programs, we usually have this kind of includes.
Yeah.
And in tracing program, we have a VM Linux.h, and those conflicts with each other. So you cannot use both. So the solution was to not include this at all. And all of this is only declaring things that that are not so difficult to declare yourself. So in this, not this. Where was the
I
code?
think you close it.
Okay. So what I do, I just redefine myself the different define that were included. Instead of including all of this, declare myself in a gadget the thing I need. But then I need to make sure that this include from Inspektor Gadget doesn't include that. So to make sure that of that, I
You created
created a request to
yeah.
include that. It's in this one. So it's kind of moving a lot of declaration around, but mostly in this sockets map.h, I just remove all the include on all of this because they are not really used. On the gadgets that want to make use of that, like dns.h.c, you just have to redefine the thing it needs instead of relying on this to do everything.
And now in DNS.c you can import VM Linux?
Yes. So here
Ah,
we
you
have
have it. Yeah.
VM Linux, and the other thing, declare them myself.
This is too many of them?
Well,
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
that's okay. Just oops, that. Yeah, so that works. So
Okay.
I guess it would be good if someone review this. I had other issues in when mixing, when using the socket enricher in both, because for some reason the map, eBPF map used in the socket enricher, I didn't understand why, but it has a different size, the key and the value of different size. In the version of Inspektor Gadget. I didn't finish to debug that, so I'm not sure what's going on. But I think that will be the next step when this first step is completed. Then there will be another bug to fix.
Okay, okay. Makes sense. I think that's
Oh,
what
what's going on?
happened.
I think my doesn't work anymore. Okay, and the last gadget is a snapshot that lists all the file descriptor of all the process. And the issue I had with that is I need to have the kernel address of all those structures, and we initialize them correctly with core all sims in built-in gadget. But for image-based gadget, I don't think we have something to initialize them. So yeah, for now, I use this script that open this file, look for the address, and add the flags on the IG command line. That would be nice to fix, to provide a different way for that.
Wait, I got lost, sorry. And what do you need to provide for that? What is what do you have to pass? You need to pass the address of the structure.
Yes, in the kernel. And there's something you have in core all sims. All of this is not automatically filled by Inspector Gadget, but the user has to pass a flag to give the
And
proper
of course,
address.
those values are dynamic. So
Yes, I mean different for different kernel versions.
yeah. Good point.
So this kind of workaround works, but I think that's another limitation that image-based gadget should provide a way to give that, to give the
And
information to us.
an image-based gadget, we will be sorry, in the built-in we will generate that internally, and I mean this is specific for image-based gadget, right?
Yes, I mean for non-image based gadget we have this package. So we have an API that can I forgot which function it is, but this. So built-in gadget make use of this function to automatically replace the symbol by their address. So I think we should make use of that in image-based gadget somehow with the convention. I don't know if it should do it automatically for every variable with this suffix, or if it should be something declared in a gadget.yaml. So the logic is implemented, but I don't think we use it yet.
No, I don't think so. No, I'm sure we are not using it yet. I mean, but yeah, maybe that underscore address is too generic. Maybe
Yes.
we need to k address or something like that to be sure anyone else is. I mean, developers are not creating variables with finishing with suffix underscore address because it
Yes.
is easy. But I think this can be done automatically in the eBPF operator when it is looking for specific types, or maybe we can use a specific type for this, like we are doing for gadget mount namespace. For the mount namespace ID, we have a specific type and all the variables with that specific type. In this case, a parameter with that specific type. We can set the default value using this API that we already have. I think that's doable.
Maybe that's so if you have a constant with a specific type, we automatically fix it. Okay, yes, that could work.
Yeah, I mean, we can also specify if it is a parameter, a
Yes.
gadget parameter, and finish with address. In that case, we can finish with k address or whatever. We can dynamically set a default value for that. And even it can also be used to generate the metadata. So the metadata file will be updated with the correct value.
But the value depends on the kernel, so cannot be added in a gadget.html.
Yeah, good point. But I mean, yeah, when you build it locally, yeah, better to not put it in the metadata. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Thanks for the feedback.
That's awesome. These gadgets. The snapshot file, I think, if we find a way to do this in an automatic way, I think you can port it into Inspektor Gadget, a main repository.
Okay.
I mean, we have already the snapshots for everything. The other two maybe still need some fixes, mostly the tracing, networking. The second one, the trace UDNS, still needs some work. And the FS notify and reshare, I don't know, that's too specific. Probably could stay outside. I don't, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think? Or
Okay.
think?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it could go either way. I think that's kind of cool to debug. I mean, several applications use the FS notify thing on Linux, so it could be a thing. And most of the code of this gadget actually come from Inspector Gadget in some way, because we have loaded some code for FileNotify, that some eBPF code around FileNotify. So it's kind of rewriting it in a different way to make a gadget out of it. And I think the socket enricher is a lot of eBPF code. Maybe you can reuse it to make a gadget out of it too.
Makes sense? I mean, yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, let's ask what other folks think about this, but yeah. Could go also in the main repo. Thanks, Alban, for these new ideas,
Yeah,
these
no
new
problem.
use cases. Great.
Thanks.
I don't have any other topic. I don't know, Burak, if you have.
No, but maybe we could talk about the built-in gadgets deprecation. What would be needed before we deprecate them?
Okay. I think, I don't know, I would prefer to have that discussion with most of folks.
Yeah, of course.
And we are already done with the time. We are already, yeah, it is half an hour, yeah. So we can keep it for the next topic, next meeting.
Okay. So if nothing else, then thanks.
We can call it.
And
Yep.
see you next time.
See you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.